And we've made it to the beginning of the journey. You can see behind me here. Kilometer 0, James Bay Road. Joutel is a ghost town in the Canadian province of Quebec, located in the municipality of Bay James, or James Bay, off Route 109 between Amos and Matagami. First established in 1965 due to the opening of gold, copper, and zinc mines in the area, the community was named for early French explorer Henri Joutel. A modern town site was laid out east of the mine. At one time it contained many businesses. A shopping center brought together a Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, an IGA food market, a restaurant, post office, a children's clothing store, a ladies' hairdresser, and more. Joutel also had an Esso garage, the Joutel Hotel, the Laurent Bélanger School, the half-moon-shaped church like an arena, the curling club which also houses offices, a Telebec company building, and the water filtration plant. There was a municipal library with around 4,000 books, magazines, and newspapers, and its very own local newspaper, the Pierre de Touche. The residential area then included 77 single-family homes, 22 unit houses, 8 multi-unit buildings with 73 units, and 42 trailer sites. There were also residences set up at other mine sites that welcomed single workers or those who did not bring their families to Joutel. Joutel's infrastructures were set up by the Ministry of Natural Resources of Quebec, but the houses belonged to the mining companies. None of the residents were owners except some local traders. In 1975, around 1,500 people lived in Joutel. The population subsequently decreased considerably with the closure of several mines in this sector. The village was completely dismantled during the 1990s. The community was abandoned by 1998 when the ore reserves were depleted enough that the mines were no longer profitable, and the houses were removed and the site leveled, and the sewers were filled. Most residents moved to other mining areas of the region, such as Matagami, Rouyn-Noranda, Amos, Val-d'Or, and even Elliott Lake in Ontario. The only structure still standing there is the Telebec phone building and tower. Today, there is a renewed interest in the Joutel site. In November 2020, Orford Mining acquired 100% interest in the Joutel Omega property. It is now owned in a 50-50 joint venture between Maple Gold and Agnico Eagle Mines Limited. As per the joint venture definitive agreement signed on February 2nd, 2021, Agnico will provide a total of $18 million of funding over 4 years for the exploration expenditures at the Joutel property, along with one other mine in the area. Historical data indicates the potential for high-grade mineralization both near the surface and more high-grade material at depth below the old mine. The original mine had focused on exploration of a single zone between 600 and 1,000 meters, or at its deepest, nearly 2/3 of a mile below the surface. The new project was initially divided into 3 phases. Phase 1. Digitization of historical analog drill data. This was to be completed in the second quarter of 2021. Phase 2 of the project was construction of a 3D model of the mine, completion of which was expected towards the end of the second quarter of 2021. And Phase 3 was priority drilling, targeting, and permitting, completion of which was expected in the third quarter of 2021. It was quite humbling to see how quickly Mother Nature took over after all the people had left, and the trees were overgrowing the sidewalks or right in the middle of some of the roads. It almost seemed post-apocalyptic. I didn't know at the time, but this was one of the highlights of the trip. I look forward to coming back and exploring the area and using the many available wild campsites as a base camp for a future multi-day trip, hopefully next summer. The Harricana River is 533 kilometers, or 331 miles long. Although most of its area is in Quebec, the river flows for a short distance through Ontario before it ends in Hannah Bay off James Bay. Because of its undeveloped nature, the Harricana River is popular for canoeing trips to James Bay. Route 812, or Route Nord Joutel, is a great gravel road that I found completely by accident. It is 100 kilometers from its starting point, just north of the town of Nord to Joutel, and another 14 kilometers from Joutel to the intersection at Route 109. I can't say enough how much I enjoyed riding this road, and looking forward to coming back and exploring the many gravel roads and logging trails that shoot out periodically in all directions. I would highly recommend this route to anyone who enjoys a little gravel adventure riding. Halt des Collines Cartwright is a rest area at the Route 8, 12, and 109 junction. I really admire the way the province of Quebec has so many of these rest areas and the services they provide even in remote areas throughout the province. This particular rest area has areas on two corners of the intersection along with phones, water, toilets, picnic areas, and a lookout. I stopped at several along the trip, and all of the toilets I used were fully stocked, and the entire rest stop was quite clean, which is not only a compliment to the people in charge of the rest areas, but the people using them, and respecting and appreciating them. There is a website with an interactive map that shows all the locations throughout Quebec, along with the services each provides. I wish I had found this before I planned my route, but I'll leave a link in the description for fellow travelers to use in the future. The Nottaway River drains Lake Matagami and travels 225 kilometers north before emptying into Rupert Bay at the southern end of James Bay. The Nottaway, together with the Broadback and Rupert rivers, were initially considered to be dammed and developed as part of the James Bay project. But in 1992, hydroelectric development began on the more northerly La Grande and East Main rivers, and the Nottaway, Broadback, and Rupert River project was cancelled, and the decision was made to divert the Rupert River to the La Grande River. It is not likely that the Nottaway will be developed in the foreseeable future. Well, we're here. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, day 2, and we've made it to the beginning of the journey. You can see behind me here. Kilometer 0, James Bay Road. This is where the journey actually is supposed to begin. So, I'm gonna go into town, grab up some gas, last minute supplies, and then head up and sign in and start heading up towards the Trans-Taiga. Alright, enjoy.